Good evening, traders. This is how to identify technical levels with Joel Malamano. Now, just before we begin, bit of general advice warning. The following education session is not to be treated as personal advice. Forex CT provides general advice only that does not take into account your objectives, financial situation or needs. Trading FX and CFDs involves a substantial degree of risk and should only be undertaken with risk capital. Investors do not own or have rights to underlying assets. Now, what we're doing in this webinar is learning how to identify our own levels of support, resistance. So same thing as the daily technical, so that gives you a whole bunch of different levels. This is for traders that want to, expand their possibilities and start identifying their own levels. So we'll start with Euro GBP, Euro Great British Pound. Each week we'll go over a few different possibilities, different levels that may have been used and traders have been using. So we'll use Euro GBP. Now it was from, we've got the date down the bottom, April. From about April until a couple of days ago, it was on a nice little downwards trend with this exception here, due to the pound having a bit of a thrust here. But it was on a nice downwards trend. Now you can almost visualize that resistance running along the top, support along the bottom. So if we go and draw it in, by the way, I'm using TradingView here. If you don't have it, ask your account manager to set you up with it. It is fantastic to analyze trades with. Now we'll begin from here, this particular point here. And then we'll do the support down the bottom. So resistance on the top, support on the bottom. Now we can see that this was trending quite nicely between here. Every time it touched the top, created a selling opportunity. Every time it touched the bottom, created a buying opportunity. Unfortunately, the other day was the time that it finally did break it for anyone that was selling it on the resistance, which is a bit of a shame. And having your stop loss above the resistance is essential in this case. So, obviously you've got to allow the pattern to be created. So you probably would have noticed the resistance. You may have noticed it here being the third time. 1, 2, 3. You definitely would have picked it up here, and you would have picked up the support over here. Resistance again here, support, resistance. So what you do, take this example here, for instance, you would do a sell below the resistance. Stop loss goes above the resistance. Again, give it adequate breathing room. And a take profit, depending on where you believe it's going to go. So, you might believe it's going to go straight back down to that support line. Could be being a little bit greedy, asking for that much, but 2/3 of the way down is usually a good rule of thumb, and that would have worked quite well. When it hit the support, would have recreated buying opportunity, stop loss down the bottom, take profit further up, and that did quite well. And then again here the other day, touched the resistance. I know a number of traders got into a sell on that. Stop loss up here, take profit down here. Did start to trend down, and then for some unknown reason the euro just started trading. No fundamental reasons behind it whatsoever, but the euro just took off. So unfortunately did break that and would have struck anyone's stop loss that pro would have had around about this area here. So again, eventually support and resistance will be broken. Until they are, we can take advantage of them. So this level was respected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and on the 6th attempt it finally broke it. Now that's Euro GBP. We'll look at gold. Gold, we had a look at it last week, and we'll have a look at it again today. So we put it on the daily. We zoom out. If you can spot a nice trend on the daily, it's usually stronger. So now we can see that gold. If we grab our trend line again, start from down here, and draw that in like that. Now this is 2017 begins about here. So gold's been on an upwards trend for the entire year so far, and it seems to be bouncing off quite nicely from this support level, the purple line. Whenever it gets it, it'll touch it and pushes off quite nicely. So last week when it got down to here, a number of traders used this rise in support as an entry point. So buy just above the support, stop loss down the bottom in case it does break the support. Again, eventually they will be broken, and a take profit. I know a number of people, a lot of people will have already cashed out by now, and a number of people are looking for that 1260 level. It is quite a big level for gold. You can see it's played around it multiple times this year alone. So you might be aiming, just below 1260 to ensure if it does get up there, but not quite break it, that you would cash out. So buying above support, stop loss below, and take profit. You'd look for a first big level of resistance. Could very well break this and continue going up towards the 1300s. Wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. But again, support, buying above, stop loss, and take profit anywhere up here where you believe it's going to go. And we can see that on the hourly as well. If we go on the hourly and zoom right out, There we go, you can see it quite nicely there as well. It looks great, both on the hourly and on the daily. That looks like an awesome trade, buying off that support. Now, the third one of our trades that we want to have a look at is Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Now, this one is just a real little simple resistance, nothing too technical at all, but we can see that if we draw we'll grab the horizontal line for this. Change the color of it. So you can see back at the start of May, came up to this level, played around a couple of times, pushed off, obviously with resistance there, and then, was it yesterday or a couple of days ago, came up and was playing around the same level again. So that creates a great entry point for a sell. So you'd enter anywhere along around about by that line, stop loss above it. So you might have put the stop loss up here. Again, give it sufficient breathing room. And a take profit, you could look, maybe last time drop down to here, might look to set a take profit down there somewhere, depending on how much you're trying to aim for it. Obviously, it's a bit of a level around about here, so you may aim for here. I mean, that's already had a bit of a drop. The resistance was 84.5. It's in down at 83.2 roughly, so it's already dropped well over 100 pips, which most traders would be quite happy with that. And again, that's a very simple little resistance scene. Last time I hit there, bounced off it. It's playing around that same level. I'm going to enter into a sell. Stop loss above, take profit below, and that worked very well for anyone that did manage to get onto that trade. So 3 examples, just to recap. Euro GBP, trending between the support and resistance on a downwards trend. Again, eventually they will be broken, as you can see here. Did last a total of about half a dozen attempts before it was broken, so more than enough time to cash in on that. Gold, nice little upwards rising support, just buying off the support. And then Australian dollar, Japanese yen, just a simple little resistance, horizontal, and just selling off that resistance with the stop loss above, take profit down the bottom. So well done anyone that did spot those and profited from those trades.